tonight, so we appreciate everyone coming in tonight. Will you call the roll, please?
Farmer?
Here.
Henning?
Here.
Gorman?
Here.
Merkel?
Here.
Kelly?
Here.
Bachman?
Here.
And Stevens.
Here. Okay, we start our meeting tonight. We actually have two presentations, and the first presentation that we're going to give, it's always bittersweet. It's the retirement of one of our valued employees, long-term employees. So I'm going to turn this over to Chief and let him give the presentation.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So yes, this evening it is bittersweet. So I'll call Battalion Chief Michael Seagraves up, please. Retirement's always an awesome thing, but also when someone leaves who's been tenured as long as Michael has been, he's been in the fire service for 42 years. So he's done it for quite a few years. He came to Clayton in 2004, so he's been with us almost 20 years. He was promoted to captain in 2005. So I worked with him in other departments. In Trotwood, we both worked there together. Then he came here and worked for me, and then we worked beside each other for many years as well. You know, Mike has done great things. Not only is he a great individual with his family and friends, but what he's done for the city and the department was great. I mean, he helped us build a wonderful department that has served this community well over the last 25 years. And we couldn't have built what we had without Mike. His expertise, and he had a family business of repair and service in New Lebanon, which was very successful. He brought those skills to us where we never had an in-house maintenance program. So just to give some dollars and dollars to this, because everybody always likes to hear about money and what we can do. Our maintenance program, when we started back here 20 years ago, was $100,000 a year we spent in maintenance. He said, I can greatly reduce that if you let me take over maintenance, and I will put a program together, and we will reduce that. Even today, with all the expanded, what things cost today, our maintenance budget is $45,000 a year. When he got done with all that, it was down to $32,000. So he cut that by 60-some% by him and his shift doing all the work. They diagnosed things, they fixed things, so we didn't send it out to other organizations. He worked with the in-house maintenance crew at the road garage to get tools and lifts, whatever we need to do to get things accomplished, just so we had a maintenance program. And what has that done for us is, our things, our apparatus is not out of service unless we plan for it to be out of service on most occasions. And we continue that today, not with Mike, but with another company that comes and does preventive maintenance on a yearly basis through all of our equipment. And we work on the things that we find year after year, or through the year to fix them, so we fix things on our terms. There's always catastrophic things that may happen that we can't see, but that is very, very greatly reduced, and that was because of Mike. Mike was instrumental in our 800 megahertz and computer MDTs in our apparatus switch over to the county back in '06. He's also done our in-house alerting system with the county with locution. So IT is, he's really not an IT person, but he dabbles in it. He did a lot of IT stuff for us over the years. And not only did he do maintenance on apparatus, we've remodeled our firehouses probably 4 times since he's been here, and he's done it all. He takes the walls up, he puts the walls up, he takes them down, he runs electric, he runs plumbing, he does the whole 9 yards. When I talked about that locution program, we had outside vendors who are going to charge us roughly $35,000 to come in and put that system in. Him and a couple of his guys came in for 3 days and did it, okay, and saved the city $30,000. So just the amount of savings that he has, and that's just on the operational side, not to mention how many people he's mentored. You have Battalion Chief Wagner here. He mentored Battalion Chief Wagner for 6 years, and he was able to move forward into becoming a chief or a captain, and now a chief. So his influence is seen throughout the organization. His command presence on emergency scenes was next to none. If you heard Mike on the radio, there's nothing that rattled that guy. He was calm, made great decisions, and did a great job for the city. So I just hate to see Mike go. Not only have I worked with him, he's worked for me, he is also my friend. You don't work someone that closely for 25 years and not build a bond and a relationship. So I will miss Mike. So Mike, I'm glad to see you go, but I'm not glad to see you go. But you've earned everything you deserve out of this, and I hope you have a great retirement. And I do have a gift for you here in a minute. But.
Thank you.
So this was done with the city and the union. So we went out and we actually bought Mike an axe, which is a ceremonial axe for retirement for most firefighters. So we went out and had this done for you, Mike, laser engraved for you. First time we've ever done this in the fire department, but you're the first senior person that we've ever retired, which is a good thing.
Thank you so
But
much.
this is for you, and I'm going to take this back because I got to present it to you at the next one too.
Okay.
But that is for you,
Means a lot.
and you can hang that up. So.
42 years. That's a long time, and half of it here with Clayton. I was tickled to death to get here. Have been all along. Appreciate the mayor and council and all the administrators' support and everything along the way. It's been a great ride, it really has. And to see this department from where it was when I worked with Chief Garver 20 years ago and where it's at now, each and every one of you should be extremely proud. They're a cutting-edge fire department doing all the leading technologies, the training's second to none. Everyone should be proud of these people, and I'm proud of every single one of them. All the lieutenants, all the firefighters, and the collaborative. It's all been a great experience, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Congratulations, Mike.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to take that.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Thanks so much, Mike and Chief Garver. And I also want to just recognize all these gentlemen that came in today. It's not only Clayton, these are members of our collaborative. And so I want to welcome our friends from Union and Englewood also. So we're so proud of all of you. And again, thanks, Mike, for your years of service. Again, it's bittersweet, but we're all happy for you and just hope you enjoy your retirement. And it sounds like Chief might have some remodeling jobs, available if you're ready to come back, but we do wish you the very best. So thanks again.
Brian, if Mike's been in the firefighting business for 42 years, was he your mentor too?
Well, 25 years ago or actually 31 years ago when I actually got into it, we worked side by side in Trotwood, and we did that for 9 years. So we both rode the medic and the fire engines together back there. We just lonely little firemen, and we really enjoyed our jobs, and that's where I met Mike, was in Trotwood.
I thought he might have been firefighting when you were in short pants.
He was.
Brian. That's what
He was, by all means.
And we do have another special presentation tonight. I'll give this. Okay.
So Finance Director Schweitzer in the Finance Department, Candace Fast, here, the City of Clayton won the GFOA award. We do have a video from the GFOA, and then Mayor, you have a plaque to present to Kevin.
Amanda, what is the GSAO award?
It's the Government Finance Officers Association.
You have to play your own video.
Kevin, your son never has these kind of problems.
Well, if for some reason we can't get it to play this evening, we'll push it out on social media tomorrow, and I'll distribute it to council.
Association. I'm Chris Morrill, GFOA's Executive Director. It is my honor to recognize you for receiving GFOA's Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. Receiving this award demonstrates your finance team's commitment to preparing an annual financial report that is organized, readable, and transparent. Meeting the high standards required to receive this award is a mark of distinction, of which you should be very proud, and I congratulate you and your staff. Thank you, and congratulations again on this impressive achievement.
We'll get that pushed out, so this has become really an annual thing for us. I want to say it's been 17 years in a row. Does that sound right?
Yeah, it's about 18.
18 years in a row that we've received this award. And of course, Kevin is the main recipient of it, and also Candace. We only have a 2-person finance department, so.
Helps out too, so.
And Barb, of course. So I just want to say, congratulations to both of you. For a city our size, I think that really reflects well on us. Our budget process is solid, and we're able to, with a little manipulation, make our budgets. We've kept our budgets under control. There's been no scandals from the money standpoint, and I think from a staff standpoint, and hopefully from the council standpoint, we've had zero abuse of any of the financials. And when the people that are familiar with accounting, unlike myself, but the accountants in the room understand that government accounting is different than regular accounting, and it's very complicated, and it's very timeline driven. And to receive this award that many years in a row, I think is just amazing, actually. So I just want to say thanks to Kevin. It's the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award presented to the City of Clayton, but to our finance department. And I also would be remiss if I didn't say that it reflects well on our whole staff, because we are a team here. He's the point. He gets the credit or the blame, but it truly is a team effort from everyone, and I appreciate everyone on that. So, all right, thank you. Appreciate it. Good job.
Mayor, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Terry, who taught Kevin how to do this the first 5 or 6 years of the 18, I think, anyway.
So noted. Okay, thanks again, everyone, for that, for both of those presentations. So tonight we have a public hearing, and will you read the public hearing case?
Okay, it's case PC 2305, a request for a plan modification of an existing approved final development plan for a planned development district, specifically the Village of North Clayton, PDD. The request was made by Kurt and Kathy Krim, the applicants.
So at this time, I'd like to ask anyone in the room that thinks they may want to speak. You don't have to speak, but if you think you may want to speak, I need you to please stand and raise your right hand to take an oath, along with any city staff that will speak. Okay? I thought you were waving at me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give to this council is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, please say, I do. I do. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm going to turn this over to Amanda.
And I'm going to turn it over to Ellen.
Naomi, my name's Ellen. I'm the GIS and zoning manager here at Clayton. I'm going to be talking about case number PC 23-05. So we'll get right into it. The introduction to the application. Application number PC 23-05 received on November 22nd, 2023 for plan modification to a previously approved final development plan, specifically Phase 2 of the Village of North Clayton. Applicants and property owners are Kurt and Kathy Krim. Public notice was printed in the Eaton Register Herald on December 6, 2023, and letters to property owners within 300 feet of the property were postmarked and mailed on November 30th, 2023. Properties include Lot 6 and 7 on Steinman Street in the Village of North Clayton. Parcel numbers are M60 space 16323 space 0006 and M60 space 16323 space 0007 with a combined size of approximately 0.2254 acres. The current zoning of the parcels are PDD. Staff reviewed and provided to each planning commission member the following documents: application, site plan, and elevations, Phase 2 of Village of North Clayton approved site plan. The applicants desire to build their new single-family home in the Village of North Clayton. The applicants have purchased Lots 7 and 6 on Steinman Street, which is an area previously approved as Phase 2 of the Village of North Clayton Planned Development District. Phase 2 was approved by Clayton City Council on November 17, 2005. The Phase 2 final development plan was approved with a mixture of residential types and lots with varying road frontage requirements ranging from 40 to 49 feet, 50 to 59 feet, 60 to 69 feet, and 90-plus feet. Specifically, on Steinman Street, there were townhomes and single-family lots approved, with 4 townhomes lots identified at the corner of Steinman Street and Annalise Way. The remainder of the 7 lots were identified and approved as single-family lots in the 40 to 49-foot lot width series. Here you'll see the surrounding area. You can see that the blue area is PDD and the purple area is RSD. The lot that we're talking about has that yellow star with the red surrounding on it. A closer view of the proposed location is here. You can see the 4 lots at the corner of Annalise and Steinman Way, and then the remaining 7 lots with the 4 buildings and the 3 vacant lots. Here is a more specific proposed change. It will be 2 lots combined into 1. The new acreage would be 0.2254 as long as the new survey reflects that. Since the time of the original Phase 2 approval, 4 single-family homes have been built on the single-family lots. 3 remaining lots have not been built on, including lots 7 and 6. The applicant has purchased the lots in question and desires to combine the lots to build their new single-family home. Lot 7 has a road frontage of 46.92 feet. Lot 6 has a road frontage of 45.44 feet. Combined, the new parcel will have a road frontage of 92.36 feet. If the properties were located outside of a planned development district, staff would be able to approve this request administratively because it meets all the requirements of a minor lot combination. The newly created lot will continue to meet all the required development standards of the PDD. However, since the property is in a PDD and the proposal differs from what was originally approved by Clayton City Council, it must come before the Planning Commission and City Council for approval. The applicants will be required to build a home to the standards of the Village of North Clayton community as regulated by the Village of North Clayton architectural guidelines. This includes having a rear entry garage accessed from the alleyway, sidewalks, and building materials consistent with those standards. Setbacks and other development standards would be required to be maintained as well. Clayton staff has reviewed the application and have no comments. The application request decreases the original density approved by case ZZ-05-11 and will have 0 negative impact on the community in terms of traffic, stormwater, and life safety factors. Here you'll see the approved final development plan, which also circles the lots in the area that we're talking about. Here's a more specific project plan with the front elevations. Here is another more specific project plan with the layout, with the square footage. Section 1111.21 of the Clayton Zoning Code addresses planned development districts. Specifically, Section 1111.21.p details the steps and processes for a plan modification of an approved PDD. Subsection 1 states, because of the difficulty in being able to supply precise data at the time of approval of the final development plan, it may be necessary to make certain modifications to the final development plan at a later date. Subsection 2 states, modification to the final development plan shall not deter from the general intent and purpose as originally approved by the City Council. No modifications, unless approved by the City Council, shall be approved that will increase density or intensity, decrease parking and loading areas, and reduce usable open space or reduce distance between structures and the perimeter property lines. And finally, staff recommendation. Staff recommends the application be approved as submitted. The proposed plan modification reduces the overall density of the Village of North Clayton Plan Development Community and has zero negative impact on the overall safety, traffic, and stormwater functions of the neighborhood. The proposed use meets all the requirements of a plan development modification found in section 1111.21.p.2. More specifically, the proposed use will not increase density or intensity of the community when compared to the originally approved plan. In comparison to the originally approved plan, the proposed lot combination will decrease the density and intensity of the land included with the request. The proposed use will not decrease public parking and/or loading areas of the overall development. There is no change to the public parking and loading areas available in the Village of North Clayton community included in the originally approved plan. The proposed use will not decrease space between buildings or decrease community open space. The proposed lot combination will increase the distance between homes and has no impact on the community's open or green space. That's all I got.
Is there any questions or comments from council?
Yeah, I just have one comment. I think they ought to combine all those lots up there into two lots that are 40 foot wide, and they're not big enough to build on.
Well, once you get a request, I guess we can address it.
I do have one question, Ellen, on, I just want to make sure I heard you right. So these are being combined into a single lot, and they'll have a single property number assigned to them?
Correct. There's already an address associated with one of the lots, so we would just carry that over. I believe it is 4961 Steinman Street.
Okay. Anything else?
I know that Tina, Member Kelly has always asked for very quality homes to be built in Clayton, and I know for a fact that we have mutual friends that have had Denlinger and Sons build homes for them in Miami County, so I'm sure they will build a very quality product that's to the standard of North Clayton. And it'll, I mean, judging by the design drawings that we see here, it looks to be like it's going to be a very nice home, so thank you.
Did you get comments or questions coming from the neighbors?
I do not.
We did not. We did have one resident show up at the Planning Commission meeting, but there were no negative comments towards the lot combination.
But I guess from the, like, in the past, there was a question about a house being built at a lower elevation than the surrounding homes. And I just want to make certain that all of those things that are part of the original plan design for the PDD is followed through.
Yes, they will have to follow everything as outlined in the original PDD. The only thing that is up for approval is the combination of the lots. So they still have to meet all of the setback requirements, the rear access requirement, and obviously the front setbacks too.
So both the former HOA president and the present HOA president came and spoke in favor of the project at the Planning Commission.
I move we close the public hearing.
Second.
We have to ask for proponents and opponents.
Is there a motion to, motion and second to open the floor to public comment?
So moved. Second.
Motion to open the floor to public comment by Mr. Gorman, second by Mr. Henning. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, are there any proponents here that want to speak today? Or anyone for the development project? Hearing none, are there any opponents? Anyone that would be against this building? Hearing none, I ask for a motion to close the public comments hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion to close the public comments hearing by Mr. Gorman, second by Mr. Merkel. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Is there any final comments or questions from council?
Mayor, we have.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, you have, can I swear you in? Raise your right hand. We want to make sure you're on the record. If you raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give to council is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, please say I do.
I do.
And if you would state your name and address for the record.
Kathy Krim. It's fairly minor. We have changed builders, and we're going with Peebles builders. I didn't know if that would make a difference.
It does not make a difference. We're talking about the lot combination, not who your builder is, so.
Thank you.
Well, good luck to you. Welcome to the, do you live in Clayton now?
No.
Okay.
We're actually living in Dayton. We lived in Inglewood before.
Okay. Well, welcome. We're glad you're building here.
Yeah, so are we.
All right, good. Thank you. Okay, is there a motion to close the public hearing? Sorry, we're already closed. Okay, we'll go to the clerk's report.
Okay. First, you have before you the council meeting minutes of February 1st, 2024.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve the minutes as written by Mr. Gorman, second by Mr. Henning. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, let the record show that that is unanimous. Next, we're going to, since we do have a second reading for ordinances today, we're going to move to visitors' comments. And if there's any visitors that would like to speak to either of these ordinances, now would be the time to step up. Anyone? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to move on to old business. And we have two ordinances. Will you read the first ordinance, please?
Ordinance O-02-2401, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a purchase agreement with Kate's Pizza Place LLC, and further authorizing transfer at closing for the purchase price of $50,000 plus closing cost and broker fee of the public property bearing parcel ID number M60-03102-0112, located at the corner of National Road and Proaction Drive within the city of Clayton, Ohio, and containing 3.7884 acres and declaring an emergency.
I'll move for approval.
Second. For the emergency.
Move for an emergency.
A second for the emergency.
Motion to move to an emergency for this ordinance by Mr. Gorman, second by Ms. Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Now I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve the ordinance as written by Mr. Henning, second by Mr. Gorman. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so that's approved unanimously.
Mr. Mayor, I think it
Yes.
may just be of benefit for the public and for everyone to know why we moved for the emergency was so we can make the deadlines for the closing on the property.
Okay, well, congratulations to Kate's Pizza, Bella Sorella. We're so happy to have you also, North Clayton. Yeah, yes, that's right. And so the second ordinance is the one that we had tabled last meeting. So will you read that ordinance? Do we do anything?
Motion to remove from the table.
Second.
Motion to remove this ordinance from the table by Mr. Farmer, second by Mr. Henning. And we have a roll call on that, please?
Farmer?
Yes.
Henning?
Yes.
Yes.
Gorman?
Yes.
Merkel?
Yes?
Kelly?
No.
Bachman?
No.
And Stevens.
No. So it does pass 4-3? To untable, yeah, to untable it, yes. Okay, will you read the ordinance, please?
Ordinance O-02-2403, an ordinance repealing ordinance number O-05-2308, which adopted the Planning Commission's recommendation to approve with specified conditions the application of Clayton Properties Group, Inc., doing business as Arbor Homes, for a change in zoning from Rural Conservation District 2, RCD 2, to Plan Development District, PDD, and to further approve the preliminary development plan for 42.99 acres of property located along Phillipsburg Union Road and Haber Road and bearing parcel ID number M60-03006 0009, to be called Salem Springs within the city of Clayton, Ohio.
Move to approve.
Is there any discussion on this? Anyone?
Mr. Mayor, I do have a few words if I'd be allowed to.
Sure.
Getting old. I need some glasses. All right. Well, they sort of threw me for a loop. They were actually going to get to vote on this. So let me just say, bringing this repeal up for a vote is an act of goodwill with the referendum petition committee who made the request. Let's not forget why we're in this referendum dilemma. It is not because almost 20% of the number of voters in the last governor's election, quote, just wanted to vote on it, end quote. Our city charter addresses the referendum process with the first remedy being repeal. Council followed the charter obligation of voting on the repeal and chose to send the referendum to the ballot. Then November 7th, 2023 happened, and the start of this calendar year saw a different council composition. The Petitioners Committee recognized the potential for the Charter's first line of referendum remedy to be a possibility once again, and thus their request. Given that, I will respect however you guys want to vote on this, but I say we are being an obligation, or I feel we're being an obligation that we have to the Petitioners Committee to vote on it. And that's all I've got.
I'll second.
Anything else? Okay.
I have a question from the standpoint of what would be the effectiveness if this were to be going forward.
So if it is repealed, then what can happen according to the charter is the petitioners committee could then submit a withdrawal of the ballot item that has to be done at least 5 days prior to March 19th. So I would presume they would do that. That's up to them.
Well, then it's not gonna be two
But-
readings.
We're already out of time. We can't do anything. Special meeting if we're going to meet north of March.
So,
We can't do it now. So it's got.
because the second meeting is March
I
7th.
think we should approve this motion to hope.
Could I interject? Just in terms of the process, that, yeah, we've got the sequence of if we vote for appeal tonight in 2 weeks, we would vote, if we voted for it again in 2 weeks, that, okay, and then you add the 30-day implementation, that takes you into April. Well, ironically, the only thing that really could derail that period would be a referendum. So out of goodwill, the Petitioners Committee could go ahead and withdraw it before the election, before that 30 days of implementation expires. And am I correct, Law Director, in what I said?
Yeah, they can withdraw it at any time. So, to them.
But the issue would still be on the ballot.
The issue would still be on the ballot.
And-
But if the petition is withdrawn by the petitioners committee pursuant to 5 days prior to the election, for whatever reason they want to withdraw it, that's up to them. Then according to the charter, even if it's on the ballot and voted on, it would be of no effect.
And I will add, with it being on the ballot, even though we may repeal it, it would be an artifact to show that the process does work, that a referendum did make it to the ballot and it appeared.
Just thinking out loud here, I agree with what you said. Yeah, the process worked, but I guess what I'm having trouble with is, you and others, many others, worked so hard to get this on, to get the signatures, to prove that, your point, I'll say your point, it's a point.
The point of about 1,200 people.
So why would you want it withdrawn? I mean, you worked so hard to get it on, why would you want it
I think,
withdrawn?
like Mr. Gorman said, to protect the income tax, that's issue 5 on the ballot. Is that not what you meant?
I mean, I'm not sure those two have anything to do with each other. What would they have, to do with each other? I'm missing something here.
Well, if I'm mad at the city for one reason, I'm not going to help them on the other side. It's that plain and simple. Mike, you can't have somebody mad at you and expect them to vote for your levy.
Mike, I'll also add that.
I think that's making a big assumption.
Mr. Mayor, I'll also add that when you read our charter with the referendum, the first remedy listed is repeal, which should lead to the assumption that the voters didn't like how the vote went, so that they want it turned around. So ultimately, that is the objective. A repeal is a sure thing, because council will vote on it. But there's still always the risk in an election that it wouldn't go their way. And that is why you would prefer to just have it repealed.
I think we're looking at the same scenario from two different perspectives, half full and half empty, because I would personally like to see how the rest of the city feels about this. I understand 100% how Ward 1 feels. I mean, that was really clear. That's very clear. I get it. But we're more than one ward, and I'd be interested to see what the rest of the city feels about this. I'm just curious because unfortunately, well, again, it's half full, half empty. Fortunately, unfortunately, this is not a one-off scenario. There's other people out there that are interested in this same scenario. And I think it would help our council and our staff to know that when those scenarios come up, what should we do? Should we push it or should we not push it? Because if it comes back and 99% of the city says, hey, we don't want this, that's a horrible idea, I get it. I wouldn't go there again. I'll just speak for myself. I wouldn't go there again. But if it comes back 51 to 49, I may come back at it again. That's just my personal opinion on this. I think we owe the rest of the city the opportunity to voice this. And, it's just my thoughts on it personally. So.
And if it doesn't pass, or if it does pass, who's to say the Arbor Homes wants to continue? They might want to drop out and build somewhere else. I mean, that's the rumor at this point. So supposedly, that's something they're considering, is to back out.
Amanda, I've never heard that.
I haven't heard that, but that doesn't mean that that's not true. I have not heard it.
I'll just add, I'm here to represent Ward 1. I'm going to vote in the interest of Ward 1. We have 3 at-large members. They're looking for the greater interest of the city. And I fully expected I would come to times where I'm voting for my ward and that the rest of the members of the city would say we don't agree. So that may be the time tonight, it may not. So I'll leave it at that.
Fair enough.
I mean, I second, and I think we need to take some type of action so it doesn't stay tabled. And it's clearly important to vote on, just like I thought the fireworks legislation was important to vote on that didn't get to a vote because nobody seconded it, so.
I have at least one item. I mean, we're asking to repeal an ordinance to seek to rezone this property. And we're talking about the referendum petition that was passed and the item being on the ballot. And the one party that I don't see in the room having any input in all this are the property owners. Has anybody informed them of what the potential, what's coming down the pike as far as this being changed, that they're not going to have the option to sell the property and, essentially not happening? I mean, I think it's unfair for the property owner basically not to be fully informed as far as what's happening, because they're the property owner. While they don't reside within the city, I mean, they're property owner. And this is their property, and they have, I think, the right to know what's happening before basically they suddenly get a phone call that says, oh, by the way, the ordinance that was passed to rezone your property so you can sell your land has been repealed, so you can't sell your land to Arbor Homes for development potential. I'm sorry, I think it's a raw deal, and I think you're talking about transparency, and I think that shows a lack of transparency and honesty, and I don't want to be any part of that.
I will add that the council meeting agenda has been posted for this meeting and the previous, so it was accessible. Maybe no one gave them a direct call, but it was accessible.
Well, they reside in Phillipsburg. They don't reside in Clayton.
And we have the internet.
Well, we can banter back and forth on this, and it's not the point.
Yeah,
The point
I'm not going to argue with you,
The
Greg.
point is, have the property owners been informed of what potentially is coming? If somebody informed them, who did it? the city inform them?
No, staff did not.
Okay, I don't, did you or any part of the Keep It Rural Committee make notice to anybody?
I'm completely disconnected from Keep It Rural.
Well, because you were on the referendum committee, I'm just saying that anybody make contact with the family essentially to bring it to them as far as saying what's happening.
I think it's a safe answer to say no.
Sounds like no.
Like I said, it's an item of transparency and honesty and truthfulness and keeping everybody fully informed of what's happening. I think it's unfair to do this to them without them knowing what's happening.
What have they been notified on? I mean, what has the city notified them on ever?
Just when the public hearings for the meetings were, what we're legally obligated to notify everyone about.
But we didn't notify the family about the referendum. We didn't notify the family about anything else. So I guess the question is, should we have then? At what point do we say we should have notified them when there's plenty of instances where we didn't notify them?
Okay, then when would they be told?
Didn't hear you. What'd you say?
When would they be told?
I have no clue. That's the precedence has been, our own precedence has been, we don't notify them. That's been literally our precedence. We haven't been sending them stuff. Amanda just said that.
I think we've probably done what we at least legally need to do in notifying everyone. Yeah, it sounds like no one called them or sent them any correspondence, but I think we did what we've done for every other situation.
Because on the flip side, where's Arbor Homes to defend themselves? I mean, on the flip side, they didn't show either. I mean, when you think about it.
They haven't been present through any meeting, and they've known about it also. So our past precedence is not reaching out to them and inviting them, because they could just not show and say they weren't notified, or they didn't get the email, or they didn't get the letter. And then it's, whose side do you believe?
Call the question.
I'll move to approve the ordinance.
Second, again.
Motion to approve the ordinance by Mr. Farmer, second by Mr. Henning. Let's have a roll call, please.
Farmer,
Yes.
Henning,
Yes.
Gorman,
Yes.
Merkel,
No.
Kelly,
No.
Bachman,
No.
and Stevens.
No. Okay, so it's 4-3, no? Okay. And so the next item on our agenda is new business. And we read the first ordinance, please?
Ordinance O-02-2404, an ordinance authorizing removal of specific assessment for grass and weed cutting previously submitted in error to the Montgomery County Auditor and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Schweitzer?
When Darrell was going through and giving me the list of assessments for grass and weed cuttings, this one parcel had a similar parcel number for what should have been billed, and address was different on the county. So there was an error in submitting this, so we need to have this removed so it can come off the error's tax bill.
Move for approval.
As an emergency?
We need an
Move for
emergency.
emergency.
Second.
Motion to make this ordinance, or this, ordinance a resolution, or an emergency?
We just had Carl here. We could have given it.
Yeah, sorry. By Mr. Henning, second by Ms. Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
And is there a motion for the,
I'll move for the motion.
Second.
I just have one question. Kevin, we just gave you a lot of accolades earlier in the meeting. This is not your mistake. This is,
Well, that's why I was
This is
hoping
Darrell's
Carl-
mistake,
I was hoping
you said.
Carl would leave because there were some, his descriptions on his website sometimes are not the greatest.
motion to approve the ordinance as written by Mr. Gorman, second by Mr. Henning. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
One point of discussion real quick about this is probably for Amanda and Martina. Is the rate for this going up in 2024? Are we doing a percentage increase?
For grass cutting, it
maintenance.
does not automatically go up. It would only be if we brought it to council. I don't plan on bringing any adjustments to council this year unless we come across something, but I did not plan on increasing.
What about, I know that we have I know that last year, I think it was Councilman Merkel said, we understand if someone's having a medical emergency and they can't cut their grass, and we don't want to penalize them for that. But can we maybe think about doing that 3-strike, and then you're going to get a fee increase? Martina, are we allowed to do that or not? I forget.
We looked at that before. We looked at it a couple times. The problem is you have to do it so it's not a penalty. I mean, you have to look at the case law, and the case law is, you really can't get to the point of a penalty. If you have an administrative fee that covers obviously the cost of the gas and the materials and the equipment, okay, that's fine. But when you move into that penalty phase, we're on shaky ground there. So we got to watch that. So I think that's one of the reasons we haven't done that previously.
And if you'll recall, not long after, I think maybe it was summer of 20, or maybe it was even 21, we amended the code that allows residents to appeal to the city manager directly. And typically, if it is a first time, or if someone was on vacation, or if someone's been in the hospital, Daryl tells them to give me a call, they send me a letter, I talk to them, and then things can be amended.
Well, since the COLA was 2%, I want to say for service department.
We're still in negotiations, so
Okay.
there's been no increase there yet.
So just to get something on the books, I wouldn't mind maybe at our next meeting increasing it by 2% just to cover some costs of inflation / COLA. I don't think that it should be the same as 2023, and I can tell you, in Ward 2, there will be homes because of how they look now. They'll be needing trimmings and cuttings numerous times from the city again. So I don't know council's thoughts are on this, but I think we shouldn't eat the cost of the gas increases and everything else.
Do you know the last time it was increased?
Last year.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we increased it last year. Let me do this. Let me have staff kind of look holistically at our fee schedule, and then we can look at bringing something to council. If not at the next meeting, the
Okay.
2nd in March.
Thank you.
Okay, we have 2 resolutions tonight. Will you read the first resolution, please?
Resolution R, PC 2305, a resolution either adopting, rejecting, or modifying the recommendation of the Planning Commission to approve request for modification of the PDD Final Development Plan for the villages of North Clayton.
I move to adopt.
Second.
Motion to approve by Mr. Henning, second by Mr. Gorman. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, let the record show that was unanimous. And will you read the next resolution, please?
Resolution R 02-2415, a resolution authorizing the 5-year lease to purchase of one 2024 Ford Interceptor utility SUV for use by the Police Department from Enterprise Fleet Management, Inc., at a total cost of $60,600.
Good evening again. This is for purchasing a new police cruiser. Last year, we did not purchase one. We will be utilizing the enterprise process that we talked to you about last year. So instead of shelling out the $50,000 to $60,000 up front, you'll see this year we'll pay $13,560, and then we'll have $11,660 for the following 4 years. And then also, like we said, it should have a better resale that we can keep rotating these to replace it, keep newer vehicles on the road, less maintenance. So we'd like to get this approved and get it ordered while they still have them available.
And this is like part of our regular plan?
It's
Yeah.
included
It's
in
not
our
anything
CIP budget.
This was one of the few items that was left in the CIP, because we didn't purchase a vehicle last year, and I think we just ended up replacing an engine in Car H rather than purchasing a vehicle.
Okay, any questions or comments?
This is to actually purchase the vehicle. I guess I was confused by the language of lease.
Yeah, it's part of lease. It would be purchased a vehicle to take the equipment out of an old cruiser, so we can reuse that, put it in the new cruiser, like the cages and the mounts and everything, and have the new car striped. So it's the total cost for everything.
Did you move for?
I move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve as written by Mr. Merkel, second by Ms. Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, let the record show that was unanimous. And this third resolution is a little bit,
Mayor, if you don't mind.
Oh,
We
yeah.
used to do 2 a year. Are we going to do 1 this year and then 2 next year, or what's?
Well, so it's going to depend solely on how the levy goes, honestly. That's why we only left it 1 in for this year.
Okay, this next one's a little bit mysterious. So, so will you read the next resolution, please?
Resolution R 02-2416, a resolution to authorize and approve purchase order.
So we had two purchases back, we opened up in 2022. One of them was dealing with the Westbrook Salem safety project with ODOT. And when you deal with them, sometimes the costs increase. So our share came in $11,830.50 more than what we had approved. So I need approval to pay that. And then with the 3 dump trucks, which we are taking delivery of the last one tomorrow, we ordered those back in 2022, and when we ordered those, we knew that some of the equipment was not available to purchase and get them at the 2022 prices. They were still waiting with supply chain issues and stuff, so we had additional costs of about $9,700 for each of those vehicles. So we need to increase that for $29,100. We do have the monies moving some within our budget to compensate for these increases, and then we don't have to increase the budget.
Any questions or comments for Kevin on those?
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve the resolution as written by Mr. Gorman, second by Mr. Farmer. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, let the record show that that's unanimous. And so the next item on our agenda is the city manager's report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just a few items for you. The Northmont Area Chamber of Commerce has scheduled a town hall at Meadowbrook at Clayton on February 28th, 2024, from 6 to 8 p.m. Staff will be there to give a presentation on the income tax levy that we'll have on the ballot on March 19th. I would like council to be there if you are available. I think that it would be good for, the residents to see, as I know you do, care very much about the fiscal health of the city. We have also been pushing out on social media a series of videos. There will be a new one that I'll send out to you tomorrow prior to it being posted on social media. We did receive the flyers, and those will be mailed out. Envelopes will be stuffed and mailed out on Monday. And then we also are getting a shipment of yard signs if you would like any of those to distribute to people that you may know. We'll have those probably in about a week. Speaking of taxes, CCA will be offering tax assistance. The first one is March 1st. It's here in the Government Center in this chambers from 9 to 3 p.m. You do have to schedule an appointment for that by calling 216-857-3174. And then something I don't have on the manager's report, I am actually going to request to be excused from the March 7th council meeting. The agenda is light as of now. If that changes, I'll show if I am excused. My daughter has her final band performance. It's her senior year, and I would like to attend that.
We will excuse you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And then the final thing I have for you, Member Farmer had requested, actually sent an email out to council and had requested a series of work sessions, and I am looking for direction from council on what you would like to do with that.
Can I speak first on that?
The floor is yours.
Okay. The offer is still out there, but I think being the newbie, I'm not trying to come in and tell everybody how to do things, but I am looking at trying to help the city create a tool they can use for the long term. When you look at the history of the city, there isn't any kind of mechanism or standard that's been used to look at significant cuts. So this is something that could help. I gravitated to work sessions because that was all I'd seen, but I was introduced to the concept of a committee where we could have a smaller group and we could be flexible on the time we schedule. And I'd be open to looking at that. Maybe we could start that in April after all this election stuff is over. So I'll just leave it at that.
Can I make a comment? So you do realize that the budget's already complete for this year, correct?
Right. This is not for this budget. It's for budgets going forward. If the income tax, for example, the income tax is not passed, and we have to look at, well, where do we cut? How do we be smart about it? How do we justify that to our residents?
And I had mentioned before that I thought that a committee would be appropriate versus a person that would come in, a newbie on council, that would come in and want to offer just your perspective on it. And I think that we should have a committee if that's moving forward.
I'm absolutely agreeable to that. So let's talk, if we could table it until after the election, we could talk about how we go forward in April.
I think it's a good idea also.
That's all I have for you this evening.
Okay.
Amanda, I guess this could go for yours, just so you know, and you might want to share that early voting does start on Wednesday, February 21st. The last day
Yes.
to register to vote in the March primary is February 20th, and the boards of elections will be open until 9 p.m. And you have until 11:59 to update your registration or register online on Tuesday. But at midnight, starting on Wednesday, you can no longer register to vote for the March primary. It'll run 8 to 5 weekdays, and Ohio offers 28 days of early voting. So you have the 4 weeks before March 19th to vote early. Obviously, you cannot vote on the Monday before anymore due to House Bill 458, but if you have any questions, you can get all the facts off voteohio.gov, voteohio.gov, and you can share that content and information for the residents to have.
Thank you, sir. Anything else for our city manager?
Can you announce one more time on the town hall and the date, the time, and where it's going to be located?
The town hall will be held at Meadowbrook at Clayton on February 28th, 2024, from 6 to 8 p.m.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move to the council and mayor's comments. Mr. Bachman, we'll start with you.
Evening, everyone. Just a couple things. First off, Battalion Chief Seagrave's retirement. Obviously, the experience that we have with someone like that, and a lot of our safety personnel we're very blessed for how long they've been here. All the years of experience that we're losing is really offset by the knowing how much the people like that are experienced of how much they train those under them. So those years of experience, then some went trickled down to the rest of the department. So so congratulations to him on job well done on all of his years of service. To Mr. Schweitzer, these awards they become common, which really it's just it's how you do things. Did I get completely cut off? But that's just how you work, how the department works, really how our staff works here. That something that gets noted for exemplary is the standard that we do things. So just thank you to you and all the staff, because everything comes down to finances here. So that's everyone, all of staff is involved in that. Finally, I was going to wish a happy birthday and happy early birthday to Lindsay DeValle and our front office staff and Amanda, but I was going to do that considering all three of us were born in 1984. Ms. Zimmerlin, I specifically asked for legislation saying that we were not allowed to turn 40 this year. I haven't seen it. Happy birthday, early birthday. Ms. Zimmerlin is tomorrow. Lindsay in the front office was yesterday, so happy 40th birthday to them.
Thank you, sir.
Again, happy birthday, Amanda, for your 40th birthday, and Lindsay. Battalion Chief Michael Seagraves, I have had the pleasure to work with him through the Pink Ribbon Good events for many years that we had events. I just want to say he never missed one, and he was right there selling shirts, sweatshirts, socks, whatever it may be. Kroger's parking lot, drove the truck. We were at Uptown selling shirts. He was there. I appreciate all his efforts just working with us as well. That was such a good cause, and we really appreciate him. Chief Garver, you're an amazing chief. You definitely helped us raise so much money, and I appreciate that. And the staff, thank you. And then Kevin, 18 years and counting of fiscally responsible is what I feel like you and your staff. And I appreciate everything that you guys do and continue to receive the awards. Great job.
Thank you. Mr. Merkel?
Well, I too will congratulate Chief Seagraves on his retirement, 42 years in the service. It's a long time. I put in almost 38 at a university, and he put 42 with the fire service. That's phenomenal. Congratulate him as well as Kevin for the work that you do, as well as the rest of the staff of the city. You don't realize how much and how hard people work until you come to the office and you actually see people working. And working together as a team, which is always important to make things work. So always want to commend the people of the city as far as the work that they do and looking after the needs of the city and the community that we live. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Gorman?
Yes, I'd like to, first of all, thank Carl Keith for coming and giving us a presentation tonight on the income or the real estate tax. I'd like to wish Mike Seagraves the best in his retirement. Congratulate Kevin. And the one other thing I'd like to say is vote no on issue 4 and yes on issue 5. Thank you.
Mr. Henning?
I have a couple things tonight. I obviously wanted to thank the auditor for coming out, and I would encourage residents, those who are here tonight and those who may be watching at home, to reach out to your state senators and state representatives to let them know we still want action on the Homeowners Relief Act that did not pass in 2023. House Bill 187 and Senate Bill 153 were close. The Auditors Association and the General Assembly was not on the same page, which led to its demise. And I am hopeful that this subcommittee of 5 House members and 5 Senate members truly work with the auditors to revise how valuations are assessed. I know that Councilman Merkel tonight stated how it impacts the more elderly of our community, individuals who are only living off of Social Security. And yes, though they may participate in a program that allows them to make monthly payments versus a chunk twice a year, the Homeowners Relief Act, something has to happen here in the state of Ohio. It is, to me, concerning that an unelected bureaucrat controls what county auditors should put the valuation percentage at. I have a big problem with that. I think it should be left up to those in the General Assembly who are elected to help assist with that. And I'm hopeful that we will make progress in 2024. I know we joked earlier with the auditor that hopefully by November something will come up, and I just would encourage Amanda, you to be in dialogue with neighboring city managers, because I know you're very active on the Dayton area city manager committee. So if we could just make sure everyone is advocating for this, I know it'd be extremely helpful. Obviously, I wanted to thank Battalion Chief Mike Seagraves for his work, 42 years, and fire service is amazing. Him and his family have done so much work in the Northmont, Northwestern, Montgomery County community. Tina, I know you've known them forever. Just an all-around amazing family, and I just have so much respect for that guy. And just like Chief said tonight, the fact that he was able to save us 62% on repairing equipment was absolutely amazing. So I hope he has many, many years of a healthy and enjoyable retirement. And Kevin, obviously, we wanted to thank you and your team for all the work you do for our finances. Everyone in the state knows you, I swear. When I say I'm from Clayton, they're like, oh, Kevin's the finance guy. So you have a very great reputation. I wanted to add that the Northmont Education Foundation's auction is March 1st, Friday, March 1st. And they have a program that allows parents to go and have their kids babysat if they're ages 5 to 12. The Northmont High School softball team will be babysitting at the high school, so the parents can go and enjoy an evening helping raise funds for the Education Foundation that provides scholarships for graduating seniors. And finally, I have a letter that we all received from former Mayor Dietering, that I can read into the record, but I don't know if I have to. Will it just be entered or not?
You don't have to read it to be entered into the record.
Okay, I just, I wanted to, okay, so I would like it entered into the record in its entirety, and, her as an attorney states plenty of facts in this that were brought up at the last council meeting by a resident. And it explains that not all conflicts of interest are prohibited for votes. She cites Ethics Commission advisory opinions and continues to speak about how difficult votes may be, but, you know, we have to show up and be present and vote. That's why we were elected. So I really appreciate Joyce sending this email to us, and I appreciate it being entered into the record in its entirety. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Farmer?
All right, first off, Bella Sorella, I just want to welcome you to the Village of North Clayton. I'm your ward rep, so if you need anything, give me a call. Look forward to visiting your establishment and having some good times there. I want to wish everyone a late Valentine's Day. If you're like me and my wife, we try to enjoy it the day after and enjoy flowers at half price. So I don't know if you were able to do that today, but hope you enjoyed your holiday. Also wanted to bring up, we just finished the week that's Congenital Heart Disorder Week. That's something near and dear to my heart. My son was born with hypoplastic left heart syndrome, which is probably one of the hardest ones to deal with because you have to do surgery. Good news is he had 3 open heart surgeries before he was 3 years old. He's now 27 years old and thriving. And so it's fairly common. I do know of one resident in the community that has a child with heart issues, and there are probably many more. And I just want to share this so that we would have a connection point. If you have a child with a congenital heart defect, let's connect. Let's talk. I just want to leave it at that. Also, I do want to thank the council for us having the repeal vote tonight. I wasn't real confident we get to do that. I do hope that when you talk to residents that you have some good, robust discussions on why the way you voted, and it is beyond just because we wanted to see how it would come out. And that's just all I would ask. And that's all I've got tonight, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Just kind of to reiterate a couple things, I want to say thanks to Carl Keith for coming in tonight. There was, you know, taxes are a heated issue everywhere, no matter where you live. And he's the messenger, but he's the one that gets shot a lot, you know. I think he does well in trying to explain it, but again, he's the messenger. But I do appreciate him coming in and us connecting with him. I want to say congratulations to Mike Seagraves. I do know Mike pretty well. He was my son and my son-in-law's co-worker and boss. So it's a bittersweet thing to see him leave. I'm happy for him. I'm sad for us, but I'm more happy for him. I want to say congratulations again to Kevin and Candace both. You know, our 2-person finance team, you know, the dynamic duo does a great job, and all the rest of our staff too for keeping, and council too, for keeping us, you know, between the curbs on the budget. So I appreciate that. One last thing that I want to do before Tim motions for adjournment is I see we have some guys from Northmont here. I'm guessing all from Northmont. So, you know, we can't really let you by without trying to embarrass you. So what I'm going to ask you to do is come up to the podium and just state your name and tell us why you're here, one at a time. Right? You can all go up together.
Are you going to be the babysitters at that? Oh, no? Okay.
That's a softball.
This is baseball, the softball.
Hi, I'm Brady. I just came because I had to come here for 50 points in my American government class.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I'm Mason, and I also had to come for a 50-point assignment in my history class.
I'm Eli. I also had to come for a 50-point assignment in my history class.
I'm Jack Seal, and I had to come for the same assignment.
Well, we're glad.
Tell your teacher. I mean, honestly, I didn't see you guys on your cell phone the whole time. And we work in a business where sometimes younger people get a bad rap for always being on the phone. So you can tell them that I said you were not on your phones the whole time because we were watching.
And if you don't know or don't care, you do have several Northmont grads up here, so we're glad that you came. You know, we know why you came. We know you didn't come because you didn't have anything else to do. But we do appreciate you coming, and we welcome you back. And just tell your classmates, all of your government classes and teachers that, we're happy that you come, and you're always welcome here. So thanks for coming. Go Bolts, right? Okay, Tim, you got anything else?
I'll move for adjournment.
Okay.
Okay, motion to adjourn the meeting by Mr. Gorman, second by Ms. Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we are adjourned. Thanks all for coming.